The state of physical games in 2025 and beyond. Yes, believe it or not, in today's day and age, 2025, we still have physical games. Not very many, and I'm gonna discuss that, but let's talk for a second. So despite popular opinion and lots of videos on the internet, the Nintendo Switch 2 is the very last console, modern console, on the market to be putting out physical games. What does that mean exactly? That means you could go to the store, you can buy yourself a copy of, say, Cyberpunk, pop it in your Switch 2, and without any updates or even hitting any kind of online check, you could just play through the entire game. Now, don't get me wrong, there are games out there that require a download. It'll say that at the bottom, and we'll talk about that throughout this video. But the purpose of today's video is to just sort of do a check-in on the state of physical media. You know, with the release of the Nintendo Switch 2, both of my kids and I have sort of fallen back in love with the idea of physical media. Not that I ever fell out of love with it, but I definitely thought that the Switch 2 was gonna be the last holdout. I thought the Switch 2 was the last console that we'd ever see a full 100% physical release on, because I'm not sure if you're aware of this, on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X or Series S, whatever you have, it doesn't exist anymore. You actually have to hit an online check and accept a license agreement to play the game, which means if you don't have internet access, you likely can't play the game. Or in the future, if those servers are down, then you're not gonna play the game at all. In the case of something like Cyberpunk for the Nintendo Switch 2, it doesn't matter. 20 years from now, you'll be able to play this game, and it really got me thinking. And it turns out it got a lot of other people thinking too, because I don't know if you've been paying attention, but the price of Nintendo Switch 1 games have skyrocketed. And that's because people are realizing, you know, you're getting awesome collections like the Arkham trilogy, the Oddworld collection, Assassin's Creed Ezio trilogy, the Grand Theft Auto trilogy, and even the Star Wars Heritage collection are all on the Switch. And a lot of these collections are not on any other consoles. So in the future, if you want to play these games, you can pop them in your Switch, or even now your Switch 2. Yes, the Switch 2 is compatible with Switch 1 games. Don't believe everything you see or hear. You'll be able to do that 20 years from now. And so the boys and I have made a pretty extensive list of all of the Switch games we would like to collect. And I'll admit, some of them we already own digitally, but we just want to go out and get the physical copy before it's gone, because a lot of these games are out of print, and as you're going to see in this video, a lot of the stores we're about to visit don't have a lot of physical inventory. In fact, most big box stores have completely gotten rid of it. But I digress. Today is part of a series of very special days because GameStop is doing their buy two, get one free, which means you can go to the GameStop in your area, you can buy 2 used games, and you get a third for free. It is the absolute best time to start building your physical collection because, like I said, these stores, as you're gonna see, aren't stocking a lot of physical stuff. So we've decided to take all of you on this journey with us today so you could see exactly what this is like. And along the way, I'm gonna be sharing with you a lot of the Nintendo Switch games that I think are going to start skyrocketing in value, why they're gonna start skyrocketing, and just how cheap you can get them for now. So join us on this journey down the nostalgic road of the state of physical media in 2025. Because I bet this disappearing act has been happening right before your eyes and you haven't even noticed. Alexa, turn off the arcade. All right, you ready for this journey?
Yeah.
Yep. We're gonna take a journey. The boys and I, we're gonna go out and we are going to hunt to grow our Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 physical libraries. Leland has quite a few games that are on his list. Crosby's got a couple that are on his list. We've made quite the extensive list. I'm really excited. Let's talk about these games though. So the one game that I personally, and you probably have too, have noticed has just substantially gone up in price is the Super Mario 3D collection that came to the Switch, I don't know, a few years ago. Nintendo did say right out of the gate that this release was only going to be available for 6 months. Ooh, low fuel. We're gonna have to stop and get some gas. Which already had people kind of in a little bit of a frenzy, digitally and physically, which is really interesting. Why do that? Some would say to create some sense of scarcity or whatever. It's a limited. I really like the idea of limited releases. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. But over the last couple years since it's been out, you've probably noticed, you've seen it in stores. You see it at Best Buy, you see it at GameStop. There's still new copies for 50 bucks or whatever, 50, 60 bucks. And then all of a sudden, in the last couple months, they all disappeared. And now you're starting to see them. Just do yourself a favor, go online and look that game up. Physical copy. You want to have real sticker shock? Take a look at what a sealed copy is running. Pretty crazy. And that's all because this is a physical release that isn't in print anymore. So if you want to play one of those 3 games, and let me tell you, if you missed Super Mario Sunshine, like I did, this is where you want to play it. Because if you missed it for the reason I did, they didn't do inverted controlling back then, and now this game fixes that. But this is the only place you could get it, was this cartridge. You can't get it digitally anymore. They only had it up for 6 months. It's an interesting little test, but we're starting to see a lot of games like that. We're starting to see a lot of Nintendo Switch games like that. And now that we have the Switch 2 in our hands and we realize that it's basically fully backwards compatible, at least with all the games that you want to play, there is just quite the frenzy out for Nintendo Switch games because a lot of this stuff was in limited quantities and people are realizing, holy crap, the Nintendo Switch 2 is the last modern physical console. And again, not everything's physical, I understand, don't start getting me in the comments, but a lot of the stuff is still. And as we're on this journey today, I'll show you how to tell which ones are and which ones aren't. So here we are. Leland, what's number 1 on your list today?
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
Interesting game. If we find a copy of Friday the 13th, I'll explain to you exactly why he probably wants Friday the 13th, because a lot of you are probably thinking like, they closed the servers for that game, so why buy a copy of it? But there's a reason, and we'll show you. Crosby, what exactly are you looking for today? The Poppy's Playtime Trilogy, which is also on Switch, physical. And there's a whole laundry list of games I'm looking for. But we're gonna stop at a few stores. We're definitely gonna hit the GameStops because of the buy 2 get 1 deal. We're gonna hit probably some Targets and some Walmarts. And then we're gonna end our little journey here with the store that has the largest selection, and that's Fire and Ice. If you have not seen Fire and Ice yet, stick around to the end of the video. You're gonna love it. So here we go. You guys ready to enjoy the journey?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay guys, our first stop is going to be one of our favorite big box stores, Target. And I think this is gonna be a really interesting one, which is why I chose to do it first, because Target definitely has been phasing out physical media. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what kind of selection they have. You probably haven't noticed over the years, but it keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. All right guys, here we are. We are in the physical section, sort of. First off, Switch 2 check-in, no Switch 2s. Everything is still wiped out. But, I'd say it's a modest selection. We got our Nintendo Switch 2 games here. Also, you see this at the bottom of the game, how it says game key card? That means this is not a physical copy. See how this doesn't have it, this doesn't have it, and Cyberpunk doesn't have it, Hogwarts Legacy does. Now, let me explain, this is an option that Nintendo is giving developers. So when it comes to stuff like this, like CD Projekt Red chose to put the whole game on the cartridge, as where these other companies like EA and WB Games chose not to. And for those people who are kind of bashing on Nintendo, if you take a look, most of the first-party games are completely physical. All right, let's take a look at the Switch 1 games. You know, here's something that I've been hearing a lot about. These Pokemon games, which are 100% physical, are probably gonna start going up in value. But one of the games I've been hearing the most about is actually Super Mario 3D World with Bowser's Fury. This game here. Because if you wanna play Bowser's Fury, this is the only way to do it. So in the future, when you want to play that fantastic game, which it is fantastic, you better have a copy of the game. The other ones you really want to keep an eye out for are the ones that were like remakes or remasters and then re-released, like this. Luigi's Mansion 2. I have a feeling that something like this is going to end up really hard to find and valuable. The other game I'm starting to notice a trending upward price on is Minecraft Dungeons, because this actually has all 6 of the DLCs and 100% physical. Not to mention, Minecraft Dungeons is an awesome game. I highly suggest picking up a copy, physical, used, if you can find it. I think that's pretty much it here, dude. After checking in on the game section, I don't know, there's not really anything here, especially at our first stop, that really catches my eye that we just have to take home. But just for fun, let's go check out the movie section. Oh, wait a minute, what do you know? There is no more movie section. I don't know if you guys realize this or if it just sort of disappeared and you didn't notice. Target no longer sells physical DVDs or Blu-rays. When you really put that into perspective, it's kind of wild. The other thing I find really wild is they don't sell that, but check this out. They have a fairly large vinyl LP section where all the movies were. The DVDs and the Blu-rays are now records. That's why I say, give things time, because it all always comes back around in the end. Anything good over here? Crosby and I always check out this little, I don't even know what this section's called, but it's all the cool collector toys. The good news is though, still lots of books. Those have definitely broken back into the mainstream. But I think it's gonna be a little while before it happens with movies, and games are happening right after movies, so. I will check and see if there's any good records I don't have. That's cool. But typically when it comes to records, Target's stocking like modern pop, like Drake and Taylor Swift. Nothing I'm interested in. All right, well, let's move on to the next stop, which is probably another big box store. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Wow, this is sort of wild, but one more thing before we leave Target. Crosby wanted to come and check out the Xbox section. Look at what the Xbox section looks like. Not a single game. Oh, I'm sorry, I take that back. One copy of the show. That is it for Xbox. Wow, what does that tell you? All right, dude, there you go. There's your Target experience. I love Target as a store, but man, what a sad state when it comes to physical. Not only has Target completely eliminated all physical media when it comes to movies, but did you see the Xbox section? I mean, at least I didn't get video of it, but at least the PlayStation section still had some stuff. They actually had a physical copy of Death Stranding 2, but not a single, well, okay, sorry, one Xbox game, and that one Xbox game is actually published by Sony. That's wild. And I mean, that goes to show you, you know, the state of the Xbox initiative at the moment, which is release your games on every platform. And if you're releasing your games on every platform, of course, they're not gonna put everything out physically. They're just gonna put it digitally because it's easy. You can get it everywhere. Anyways, so here we go. Next stop. Okay, we just arrived at our next stop, and this is shocking. I mean, it's shocking, but it's not shocking. We pulled up to GameStop only to find out that it's no longer here. I mean, you can still read where the writing was. Kinda sad, man. I will say this was one of the larger GameStops that had more collectibles and stuff. and now gone. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that we were here. Well, if that doesn't help solidify the state of physical, I don't know what does. I mean, don't get me wrong, no offense GameStop, but like GameStop is also poorly managed, which is why their stores are closing as well. And it's not just because people necessarily aren't buying them, it's because there's a lot of places that just aren't selling them anymore. A lot of the larger manufacturers are just not selling that stuff. But the good news is, there's a Walmart in the parking lot. And if you want to see one of the last holdouts, then we're about to go into Walmart. All right, we're at our next stop, which is also just happens to be one of my least favorite big box stores to go in, and that is Walmart. Because while Walmart is still supporting lots of physical media, as you will see, it's just always kind of a mess. I'm sure if you've gone to Walmart, you know that. Man, I still can't get over that the GameStop in the parking lot closed. That's like sad.
Why did GameStops keep closing?
That's a great question, Crosby. Why do GameStops keep closing? Because the one over by our house in Folsom has also closed. And the answer to that is because people just aren't buying physical media like they used to. And GameStop's like model, at least back, especially back when I worked there 25 years ago or whatever, relied on physical media. So like you would buy a game, right? You would play the game, and then when you were finished with the game, you could go trade in that game at GameStop, put it towards a new game, and then they would turn around and sell your used game to the next person. And that was a large percentage of GameStop's, like, that was their model. That was their income. But with very few consoles selling physical games anymore, what is there to trade in? Nothing really. So what happens? You know, you either grow or boys, avert your eyes. Jesus, put some clothes on that mannequin. All right, here we are, the Nintendo Switch section. Now, look at that. I would say, yeah, Crosby has already found something that is pretty cheap. I've already made a video about this, but that's the Batman Arkham trilogy. That's all 3 games in the series. Yeah, we just found our copy of that. That's another game that I think is going to really go up in price. Immortals Phoenix Rising. And it's only $20. 20 bucks. Crazy. Donkey Kong Country Returns, Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that their selection here is substantially better than Target's. Yeah, I mean, look how much larger it is. Okay, I've already found one that I am certainly gonna buy. You see this right here? Burnout Paradise remastered for 20 bucks. Those are the types of things that you want to look for because they don't make a lot of physical copies of them. Minecraft Dungeons for $34. Mortal Kombat runs terribly on the Switch, so we're probably going to avoid that. Cuphead runs pretty good on the Switch. I never did play those. I hear good things though. I was actually looking at this game the other day. I kind of want to pick up a physical copy of Oregon Trail for all my 80s babies. You know what that's all about. See, here's another game. You see Skyward Sword remaster. It's still 60 bucks. I can almost assure you that the price of that game's never gonna go down. Just out of curiosity, let's do a Switch 2 check here. No Switch 2s in stock here as well. Yeah, Yakuza 0 is, actually I kinda wanna play it.
And Hitman.
I have that. I kinda wanna play it, but if you look at, it's a game key card. Womp womp.
What is a game key card?
The game key card means it's not a physical copy. It means you pop it in and then you download the game. You know what I didn't realize though? Look at Hitman. You have bonus content in Hitman that is that like Nintendo themed bonus content? It looks like it is. We need to check out World of Assassination. IO was nice enough to pass along a copy of that for the Switch 2, so I should probably check it out. Crosby's found something down here. What you got, dude? All right, now let's compare the Xbox section here versus Target. Look at, I mean, I will say it's still a pretty pathetic showing, but at least there's games. And of course, we have a selection of vinyl LPs at Walmart as well. So what are you thinking, dude?
Either the Sonic Originals Plus, that is probably going to be worth a lot.
Maybe.
Or maybe Cosmic Ship.
So what you really want to start looking at is like, for instance, like this. Burnout Paradise Remastered is 20 bucks. Or here's a really good one right here. Look at it. The Capcom Fighting Collection has been dropped down to $24.88. That's the sort of stuff that you really want to kind of keep an eye out for. You almost won't ever see prices in retail big box stores like this go back up. So you have to monitor prices on the secondhand market. That's where you start to see the fluctuation, and that's where you start to see them, you know, if a big box store is not gonna buy their games from anything other than the manufacturer. And once it's out of print, you just ain't gonna see them here anymore. Well, we're definitely gonna pick up Burnout Paradise. But since we're here, just for fun, let's go check out the physical movie section. Oh, look what we got here. We have a bunch of Switch games that are all marked down to $19.99, including Sonic Mania, Unravel 2. Look at this, look at it. We got Borderlands 3 Ultimate Edition, Unravel 2, the Spyro collection. Oh, there we go, dude. That's definitely one that we're gonna get. This is an awesome game. But look at this. We got Battle for Bikini Bottom, which this is on the list of to get games. There's tons of stuff here. Look at this. And you got Red Dead for the PS4 that's marked down to 20 bucks. Unravel 2. This game here was awesome. I loved Lego Worlds. If you never played Lego Worlds, 20 bucks is a great price for that thing. Well, we got to get that too. Crosby found a record, which the whole reason we came down this aisle was to show you the physical media section. Look at this. There's a whole aisle of DVDs and Blu-rays, and Walmart is known for putting together awesome packages like this. Check this out. I've already shown this in a video before, but look at this. This is the full original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series from the 80s for 29 bucks. Or look at this, 300 SpongeBob episodes. Or this, Twin Peaks from Z to A. This is a fantastic collection of a fantastic series and movie on Blu-ray, the whole thing for 70 bucks. Sons of Anarchy, complete series. The complete series of Smallville. I love that show. Not to mention a fantastic and better, I might add, than Target selection of music, LPs, which I love seeing this back. And again, just to reiterate, just watch. This stuff all comes back around in the end. What else we got here? Even stuff like this. Like if you're into older television shows, look at that. Buck Rogers, the complete series on DVD for 25 bucks. Walmart is known for putting together weird media bundles, sort of like this, and I'm all in. Also, when you're at a big box store like this, here's another super tip for games that are on a discount shelf like this. Always make sure to look through the games that are on the shelf. Watch. You might notice we got Unravel 2 here, 20 bucks, right? But if you look close enough, it's actually not. You pull this off, it's Human Fall Flat, the Dream Collection. This was just sitting in front of it because this belongs down here, and that happens a lot. You always just want to peek behind these things to see if there's something hidden that maybe you don't know. See, here's another one right here, look. So we got the Uno collection. Behind that, boom, Carnival games. All right, well, let's grab somebody because I'm gonna get that Burnout from the glass case over there. You guys ready for the next stop?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get that. Crosby also found a new cool record. This is Disney, A Whole New Sound. It's a bunch of different Disney songs covered by bands such as Simple Plan, Plain White Tees, We the Kings, Newfound Glory, and many more.
Wait, Newfound Glory?
Yeah, Newfound Glory. A bunch of bands. All right, let's go. All right, let's do this.
Good.
All right, guys. Well, there it is. There is the Walmart physical media experience in 2025. Now, while Walmart probably is one of my least favorite shopping experiences, as you can see, as far as big box stores go, that's probably still one of your best bets, at least in the region that I'm in, which is, I'm in California. I'm sure there's probably still like, I don't know, there's still like Fred Meyers and stuff like that out there. I don't shop around outside of state when we're traveling that often. But that was a pretty good experience because not only did they have a lot of games, they had a lot of deals on games. What did we end up getting, dude?
Oh, Backroad?
We got a Disney record.
And then Battle for the Bikini Bottom. And then Burnout Paradise.
Yep, Burnout Paradise. Two fantastic games if you haven't played these games. And, you know, that's what this video is about. I'm gonna keep beating this drum. Full games, no internet check required. So if you wanna preserve something like a SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom so you can play it with your kids whom aren't born yet or whatever in 20 years or 15 years or 10 years, you could buy it on the Switch and it'll always be there. And let's just call it what it is. The Switch is a handheld, so you could take it wherever you go. It's really sort of the best of all the worlds. All right, now what we're gonna try and do is we're gonna actually try and find a GameStop that's still open. I never thought I'd be saying that. That's a weird thing to say. But we're gonna try and find a GameStop that's still open so we can see what that experience is like. And then probably hit a couple more big box stores, maybe some other Walmarts and Targets on the way to the grand finale. So I can show you guys why a store like this is so successful and why it's so important in 2025. But first, we're gonna eat. All right, we stopped for a little bit of lunch today in this journey. I'm picking up this hot chick I found on the side of the road.
Dang.
Hi, how's your day? We're on the hunt for physical games today. This is where we take a break. Gotta have some sushi for lunch. All right. We had ourselves a little stop and yeah, a little bit of an early dinner. And now we've decided to go to another big box store before we hit GameStop. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
This is definitely my favorite big box store. This one is definitely my favorite big box store of all of them because it is what you would call a pilot location. So that means when Best Buy is testing new things, new ideas, new store concepts, the pilot stores get them first. So this one's definitely a little out of the norm when it comes to your typical Best Buy. They have a lot more products, a lot of things that maybe aren't being carried in other stores. Also, in case you're wondering, we did lose Crosby. I didn't actually lose him. He went home with the missus after our little dinner break. Those are some pretty empty shelves, dude. But it does look like this is all Nintendo Switch 2 stuff. So the regular Switch stuff's probably over here. There we go, look at that. Much better selection. Quite a bit, actually. Oh, look at this. We even have a physical copy of Stardew Valley for $34, which is a pretty good price.
For 19 bucks. Or 20.
That's definitely one we're gonna buy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at that. Let me see. Okay, much like the Ezio collection that I've showed you in a video before, this is the Assassin's Creed Rebel collection, which has Black Flag and Rogue. This is worth it just for Black Flag alone. Full game download. As you see, this is not a physical edition, but for 20 bucks, I mean, it's not a bad deal. Every once in a while, you gotta break the rules. Wanna hang on to that?
Yeah.
Actually, so here's another game that I've noticed starting to go up on the rise. This is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. This is actually a full game as well, physical. And again, its current price at Best Buy new is 20 bucks. Kind of can't go wrong there. Here's another one that is starting to go up in price. Pikmin 1 and 2. As you can see, it's still 50 bucks, but as I was saying earlier, collections like this, re-releases, collections, these are the ones that typically tend to have the value as time goes on, if that's the sort of thing you're looking for, or you just want to make sure that, you know, you got games in your collection that you're going to be able to play for a long time. This is like rudimentary game preservation. Oh, check it out, dude. There's a whole bunch of Switch games on this little center rack too. Ooh, see, now here's one. We already have this in our collection, but this is one I highly suggest going and picking up. This is the Disney Classics. This has Lion King and Aladdin. It also has Jungle Book on it, but remember those games when you were younger and frustrated as hell because you couldn't get past What else we got here, dude?
Undertale.
We have more down here too. Undertale is a great one. Here's another one that I think over time could end up being valuable. This was the Legacy of Kain collection. Again, full game, no download necessary. And this has both Legacy of Kain games remastered on the Switch. Really great collection right there.
Ooh.
Oh, there we go. That's definitely on my list right there. This is one that I have on my personal list. I own this digitally, but I want to buy it physical. As you can see down below, it does require a download, but most likely 2 of these games will already be installed on this game card, and just that alone's worth it. This is Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 on the Nintendo Switch. And I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty confident that this is probably the only way to physically play these 3 games handheld. Obviously you can get this collection on Steam, play it on a Steam Deck or an Ally X, but that's not gonna be physical, it's gonna be digital. So, you know, in 10, 15, 20 years, right there. I think I might get this one to mark off my list. And speaking of games that are going to probably end up being on the rare side or more valuable, this is definitely one of them. Suikoden? I can never pronounce that right, but this is the Suikoden 1 and 2 remaster. You guys are gonna kill me for saying it weird in the comments, but I really don't care. This is great, and this is the Day 1 edition, and the price is not going down. So this has both games, 1 and 2, remastered in HD, which are fantastic games. And the only way to play them physically, handheld, right here. Great collection. Definitely gonna pick this one up too. Now here's the risk we're really gonna run, dude. Like, we get all of these games and then we go to GameStop, and GameStop has some of them used, and we can do the buy 2, get 1 free. Probably should have hit GameStop first. I mean, technically, we tried to hit GameStop first, but it was closed. So we're gonna find out how much some of these games are, because they're not priced. Or at least I don't see them priced. Okay, so we have some decisions to make. We're gonna go ahead and skip Suikoden, the collection, still 50 bucks. Soul Reaver, I think, was $29.99, but we're gonna skip it for now. Definitely gonna get the Metal Gear Solid Volume 1 collection, it's $31. Undertale is 29 bucks. You wanna get Undertale?
Yeah, I really want to get Undertale.
Okay, Undertale we're gonna get, and the Rebel collection. It's only 20 bucks, and I feel like this is probably something we should get.
Yeah.
Oh, also, Nintendo Switch 2 retail check. I don't think they have any, but let's look. Just for fun. No Switch 2s currently in stock. No Switch 2s currently. They do have physical games. Hit the next place, actually try and find a GameStop. Now watch, we're gonna find all 3 of these used. Whatever, that's the risk you run, right? All right, so far of all the places we've been, obviously Best Buy, especially this location, is the best buying experience. That wasn't even meant to be a pun, but it was. It was a terrible dad joke. Just because everybody's helpful. Look at the store is nice, it's clean. I like it. So let's check out, shall we? All right, and we leave Best Buy with 3 more games. The Assassin's Creed Rebel collection, Undertale, and the Metal Gear Solid Volume 1 collection, which is Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3. Now I wanted to show the difference between the 2 of these because it's really important. If you pay attention to what the verbiage is on the box when you're collecting physical items, it will quite literally say game card not included. And on other ones, it'll tell you in the bottom down here that a download might be required. And that's the difference. This one's gonna come with a game card. This one is not going to come with a game card. And that is the important thing to remember about collecting physical media. All right, well, you ready for the next location?
Yeah.
Next location, GameStop. Buy 2, get 1 free on all used stuff. We're 1 step closer to that special store at the end. All right, Leona and I decided we're gonna do a bonus stop because This is a local shop, and I think they're a really, really great example of somebody still supporting a lot of physical media. And they're local here to Northern California. We just happen to be driving by on our way to GameStop. I'm not sure how many physical copies of Switch games they'll have, but this is The Cave. And we're at the one here in Rockland, Roseville. You've seen us in these stores many times. There's like 4 locations now. Yeah. Okay, The Cave is 100% overwhelming when you first walk in, but look at this. We already found some physical games. Oh, what is this? They have a boxed copy of Link's Awakening. Wild. What else do they have for the Game Boy Color? Anyway, Leland already found the Switch games.
Nintendo Labo.
What do we got here? We got Rhyme, Cinemora, Super Mario Maker, Cave Story Plus, Cobra Kai versus Ninth Dawn, Fallen Legion, Fire Emblem Warriors, The Witcher 3, Smurfs, The World Ends With You, American Gladiator, Chicken Range, and Monster Boy.
Doom looks like...
There's a Game Boy Color though.
Hey.
Yeah, look at that. And a sealed Adventures of Link. They have so many cool collector's editions in here. Look at all this. That's pretty cool. And check it out. Even a bunch of old school stuff. Look at that. Interestingly enough, this is a 3DO. It's just a different model 3DO. It's as you can see, it's the FZ10, which is a little bit different than the model that I have. It's pretty cool they have it though. Wow, and right behind us here, they have tons of CIB in television, even some Atari games. Lots of stuff here, bless you, dude. Lots of really cool stuff. They even have a couple sets of drums for Rock Band and Guitar Hero. Yeah, look at that, lightsabers on the wall. $300. Leland spotted Darth Maul's lightsaber. Check this out, dude. You're gonna take me home? You want him for your bedroom?
I know.
Yeah.
It's $2,000.
Yeah, it's a little too expensive. Hey, check it out. It's a full-size Darth Maul there. I mean, he's the same price as Jar Jar Binks. Which one do you want? Truth be told, here's one of the reasons why I love coming into the cave. Look at this. This is all records. All of this. You know we got to go through the soundtracks, dude. Real quick before we go. Just got to see what they got.
This is only $9.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fantastic soundtrack right there. Got that from Mom already, but all right. Well, we only stopped here to look at the games. I could sit here and show you all of this stuff in this store, but I think that's probably for another video. Leland's already distracted. Look at all this stuff. Yeah, this is it. I mean, look at all this. Wild. Look at those busts up there. Just a little taste of what's in here. All right, we gotta go hit GameStop, and then we got one more special stop at the end. Man, that's cool. All right, dude, we finally made it to the place we were gonna go first, actually, and we found one that's still open. We are at
GameStop.
There we go. We're at GameStop. We found one that's open, so let's go see what we got. Okay, I do want to start this portion of the video by saying I don't know how much I'm going to be able to shoot inside GameStop. A lot of the GameStops that I've actually shot video in before have been a little weird about me shooting video. So I don't know how, since this is such a small store and it looks like there's nobody in it, I don't know if they're going to let me shoot in there or not. But I'll ask. We'll see what they say. But here's to hoping we find some great buy two, get one free deals.
Yeah.
Good old GameStop. Go. Yeah, dude. Yes. A lot of stuff here. Definitely think that we'll be able to find something. Yeah, that's
Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, that's a physical copy, and it's used, so we can.
Yes.
So this is interesting. Here's a copy of Metal Gear Solid 1 Collection we just bought, but it's $38 used. Which goes to show you that the price of a lot of this stuff is starting to really go up. This is also on my list of games to get. Oddly enough, the price of this thing is starting to go up. So there's 3 right there. And I gotta say, by the looks of it, I think we might end up leaving here with 6 games. Leland just found a copy of Stubbs the Zombie, and I just found Kingdom Come. Both 100% physical. Okay, dude, here's the deal. We have 5 games. We've gone through all of these. It's up to you to pick out the 6th used game, because that will be the free one. So there's lots of games here to choose from. I think that's the one it needs to be, actually.
That?
Yeah, right? It needs to be Darksiders. Darksiders is a fantastic Zelda-like game. Okay, I've changed my mind. I'm gonna choose the 6th game.
Okay.
It's gonna be Darksiders War Mastered Edition, which is remastered. But fantastic game. And Leland has thrown a wrench in everything and put in a 7th game, which is Troll Hunters. He doesn't even know if it's good. We just used to watch this show a lot, but at $10. All right. As we exit GameStop, that became our biggest haul yet. Why don't we go through the games? What do we got?
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed 3. Again, all of these are all physical.
We got Sonic Colors.
Sonic Colors.
We got Man-Eater.
Man-Eater, which is going up in price.
Stubbs the Zombie.
Stubbs the Zombie, the Xbox Classic.
Kingdom Come.
Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Darksiders.
Darksiders War Mastered Edition, which is like the remastered version. All of these are really good games. I guess I can't speak on Sonic Colors. I never played Sonic Colors, but he wanted Sonic Colors, so it seemed like the right thing to do. And here's the thing, right? All of these are physical again, and all 6 of these games ended up being $90 because of the buy 2 get 1 free. So we ended up getting Assassin's Creed and I think Sonic Colors for free. And that's a lot of games to add to the collection that are also, you know, playable without any kind of internet. Now I will say GameStop probably on the, you know, the lower side of my favorite shopping experiences. Not quite as bad as Walmart, but you could tell when you walk into a GameStop why these stores are closing. You know, like they're not super well kept up. Obviously physical games are almost non-existent, as we're seeing. And it sort of starts at the top. When the people at the top sort of stop caring about the quality of people that they hire, no offense to some GameStop employees, I was one. I think there are some fantastic GameStop employees, but you also walk into these places and you find people who, they're just there because it's a job. They're not really there to be super helpful, unfortunately. And that all starts at the top, and then that trickles down, and then that makes for bad business, and then businesses don't grow, they shut down. That being said, we're gonna go to a place where I'm gonna show you exactly why physical media is so important and what you can really accomplish with A, the right vision, B, having the knowledge to hire the right staff and team, and C, being incredibly passionate about it. Are you ready to go Fire and Ice?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to Fire and Ice. All right, here we are. Now you are going to see what a actual real retail experience for video games in 2025 looks like, because we're gonna hop into Fire and Ice real quick. Okay, Leland, this is probably like twice as many Nintendo Switch games in one place than we saw at every single place we went to before this. Look at this. That is a Switch collection. See, this is what I'm talking about here. See, 3D All-Stars is going for $120. Oh, we gotta find the one game Leland's been looking for, and that is Friday the 13th. Is it in there?
I don't know. Where's the F?
Right here. Let's see. Nope, no Friday the 13th. Womp womp. Okay, so maybe Hello Neighbor 2? You wanna look for Hello Neighbor 2? Or Hyrule Warriors 2? Age of Calamity runs so much better on a Switch 2 than a Switch 1. Now's the time to play that game. This place is wild. Not to mention, look at all the super rare and limited run games that are here. This whole bottom shelf is either super rare or limited run. Not to mention, we got some more limited run titles up here. Ooh, Kentucky Route Zero. That's a great game. Want to get that? You might as well, it's $15.
Yeah, maybe, because Because I have this game on my iPad and it's really fun.
And put it up there.
What?
Put it up there. Here's a classic right here. Look at this. Destroy All Humans. This is all physical and a great re-release. We should probably pick this one up too. And there you go. That's Fire and Ice. And that is a retail shopping experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, later guys. Take it easy. Okay, everything from Walmart to Target to Best Buy to the Cave to GameStop and now finishing the day out at Fire and Ice Games. Fire and Ice Games is a pivotal experience when it comes to retail, and it is a masterclass in how physical games and retro games should be handled. And that's what happens, you know, when you truly care about the hobby. Ryan, obviously, you know, him and I, by full disclosure, Ryan and I work together on tons of projects that I'm sure you've seen him on. But the dude's super passionate, and that's what makes this place work so well. He cares about the people working at his store. Those guys held the store open for me, even after they closed, so we can shoot that video. You can't walk through Fire and Ice without being asked, not pestered, if you need any help. And stuff like that's really important. So, where does that leave physical games in 2025? What is the state of physical media in 2025? It's a deeper question that we're gonna have to answer back at the arcade. Okay, we just stopped on the side of the road and shot a little short form video that I want to insert right here because this just puts the most perfect cap on such an awesome day I had with the boys. So enjoy this video real quick. Okay, Leland and I just saw something in the neighborhood that we haven't seen in a while. The boys have been asking about this for the last couple years. It's the Ice Cream Man! What do you choose, man?
You ever do like the last family I've known from before?
Which one do you think Crosby wants?
SpongeBob.
You think he's gonna want the SpongeBob?
It's a throwback, retro, not made anymore. I used to sell these years ago.
We got a Mario, we got a Pikachu, we got a Darth Vader. Those are all throwbacks.
Yep, all throwbacks, all retro.
That is awesome. I love it.
So back in the day, I had a store. I had a video game store.
Crosby's definitely gonna go for the SpongeBob, you think?
Yeah.
All right, we'll have one SpongeBob, and then we'll have a strawberry shortcake blue ribbon. Yeah, I'm gonna have a Twix ice cream bar. Well, hey, from somebody who is also trying to keep a lot of retro stuff alive, we appreciate you doing this.
Thank you.
This really means a lot to us.
We are a throwback. We are the original. We began in '68.
Yeah. Do you have the music?
Oh, absolutely.
I gotta hear the music.
That's the main one. I have.
There it is.
That's the key one.
That's the one. We appreciate you very much. That's such a wonderful sound. I love it so much.
Yo, I just want to say what's up, bro. I just stopped to get ice cream.
Yeah.
I just follow you, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Hey, thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
We stopped to get ice cream too.
Hey, that's so weird, bro. I seen you, I was like, this is awesome. You have a good
Take it easy, man.
Thank you.
Somebody just stopped to get ice cream that follows the channel. That's cool all the way around, man. That's so cool. Yeah. I love it. Ice Cream Man still alive on all days. We just finished a long form video where we're looking at all things retro and trying to keep physical media alive. Seeing him out here, it warms my heart to be able to share this with them, and I can't wait to get home to Crosby's gonna be so disappointed that he missed the Ice Cream Man. When's the last time you saw the Ice Cream Man? Yes, that is right. In our neighborhood, of all places, we ran into the Ice Cream Man. We stopped and we got ice cream. And it was the perfect ending to the perfect day while shooting this perfect video. Because with videos like this, it's exactly what we're trying to keep alive, is stuff like that. Stuff like the Ice Cream Man. Driving the ice cream truck around neighborhoods, blasting that awesome Ice Cream Man music. These are the moments that I want to share with my boys. And this is what makes our hobby so special. Crosby, you won't believe what you missed. The Ice Cream Man is in the neighborhood. Yeah.
What?
So I got you the SpongeBob ice cream. Do 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 do. Yep. All right, buddy. Well, thanks. That was fun.
Yeah.
Cross, that was a fun day. I'm glad that we went out looking for some physical media. Now, good Lord, Zora, what are you doing? Okay, so as we close the day on the current state of physical media, let's take a look. Alexa, turn on the arcade. So, what does physical media look like in 2025? And why is it important? Why do I care? Why should you care? Well, it's sort of complicated because, I don't know, 20 years ago, when little things started to become digitized and we were able to purchase things on a digital platform, it was pretty novel. And the idea of like, man, I don't have to buy anything anymore physically or even go to the store. I could just download it on the day of. That actually sounded really appealing until we get to now. And we look at things and realize that, at least for quite some time probably, the Nintendo Switch 2 is really the last video game console that is going to even offer the option to do a fully physical game copy. So let's go over exactly what we got today. We did get quite a few Nintendo Switch pickups, which is awesome. But I think it's important to start at the beginning, you know, with our very first stop. And our very first stop was Target. And as you saw, we walked into Target and we actually didn't buy anything at Target because the availability of anything physical there was very small. In fact, you saw that they didn't even have any physical games for the Xbox Series X. They did have some Switch stuff, but not a huge selection. And as we moved on to places like Walmart, I like Walmart. While I don't love shopping there, I appreciate that they're still keeping a lot of physical media alive. And as you see in some of my other videos, you know, some of those DVD collector sets and complete collections are really only offered at Walmart if you want to walk into a store. And then as we get down into stuff like Best Buy had a pretty good selection. We actually bought some games at Best Buy. You know, we ended up buying the Metal Gear Solid Collection, and even though this is a digital copy, we ended up buying the Assassin's Creed Rebel Collection. And at Walmart, we ended up getting Burnout Paradise and SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. Both are actually remasters. Both are no longer in print. And both were only $19.99, 20 bucks for these two fantastic games. There was a time when people would tell you this was the best game. I think it won Game of the Year maybe that year. Don't quote me on that. Also, Battle for Bikini Bottom is an awesome platformer that has been remastered if you're into, you know, the Mario style thing. 20 bucks, and the prices on those are only going to go up. So then we ended up finding our way to GameStop finally. We found a GameStop that was open, and we took full advantage of their buy two, get one free. So we walked out of there with 6 new titles, 6 awesome titles, I might add. For 19 bucks, we got Darksiders War Mastered Edition. Darksiders is a fantastic game, very much like Zelda, platformer, action, open world. And it runs great on the Switch and Switch 2. Kingdom Come physical copy. If you have heard a lot about Kingdom Come 2, this is where it started. Again, like 26 bucks for Kingdom Come, which is awesome. Fully physical, classic for 19 bucks. Stubbs the Zombie. This was an Xbox classic, if you remember that. This is a game that is starting to go up in price. It's a very weird one also. Maneater is a open world shark RPG where you play the shark. I don't know, somebody watched a lot of Jaws over at Deep Silver and they thought it would be fun, but it's a really fun game, fully physical, 23 bucks. And I can almost assure you within the next couple years, this is definitely going to be a $60 or $70 game if you can find it. Leland got Sonic Colors Ultimate for, again, another $19 game, fully physical, everything is on the game card. And one of my favorite and most underrated Assassin's Creeds. This is the Assassin's Creed 3 remaster for the Switch. Once again, the entire game on the game card. Like I said, this is the sort of stuff that, you know, the prices of this stuff is all gonna start going up because there's not a lot of people buying physical. And there's not a lot of people buying physical because the stores aren't really selling physical anymore. And you can see that just from the state of, you know, going to these stores with us today. In fact, speaking of physical, I would venture to say, with the exception of maybe GameStop and Fire and Ice, obviously, I'm seeing more vinyl out there than I am physical video games, which is weird. I got this Whole New Sound Disney record. I picked up the green Beetlejuice soundtrack, and I had to get this soundtrack of the Goofy movie, and I believe it is the, see, 2-color splatter with a sticker sheet. Look for the short video where I unbox these babies as well. The whole point in this video is to just check in on the current state of things. What do things look like today? You know, you walk into a store, I don't know how many times you go to the store, but you walk into a store maybe once or twice a week, and when you go in there, you notice, maybe you don't notice, that the DVD section's getting just a little bit smaller. It's no longer 2 aisles anymore, it's 1 aisle. And then it's no longer one whole aisle, it's just one side of the aisle. And then the next thing you know, the movies, the DVDs and the Blu-rays are gone. And maybe you don't notice, maybe you do notice, but pretty soon, this is next. And game preservation is a very weird place. It's in a very weird place. And that's why I decided to cap this video off with a visit to my friends over at Fire and Ice. Because I think, you know, Fire and Ice is a really, really good example of what a game store could look like, not only today, but what a game store could look like in 20 years. What if, in some crazy world, GameStop doesn't exist anymore in 10 years, and they're just Fire and Ices? I think that that's a really, really neat thing. And, you know, shout out to other friends of mine who are also opening game stores. You know, you got Jared with Laughing Crow, we got Max with Cake Hoarder. I think that this is the sort of thing that really needs to be celebrated. So go out, go find your closest local retro game shop. Visit the store, buy physical games. Because this is how this sort of stuff will eventually come back. Because trust me, just like the records that I have sitting down here, they will. I remember a point in the mid-90s, even early 2000s, when people were like, vinyl, why would I buy vinyl, man? I could load everything up on this, you know, this Zune or, you know, Rio MP3 player, or eventually, you know, the iPod. And now here we are. I never thought I'd see a day where Target is selling more vinyl records, or stocking more vinyl records, than they are video games, or movies for that matter. So that's just sort of proof that, you know, everything kind of comes back around in the end. I mean, look at what kids are wearing these days. They're wearing the stuff that we wore in the 90s, and it was ugly then. It's still not great looking now. But you know what I'm saying? We all come back around in the end. Now, if you like adventures like this, I do all sorts of vlogs like this. You can check the last one out from RGX right here. And if you don't want to miss videos like this in the future, you should follow along to the channel right here, because I am going to be going hard on Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 titles and kind of watching the market and seeing where they go. And if you're interested in that, I'll be the one to tell you. And until next time, my friends, enjoy the journey and show the ones you love the journey you enjoy. Maybe they'll enjoy it too.